What's going on, everybody? BrickBuilder here, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Super Survival. And today, a lot has happened between episodes, and we're going to start by going over everything that we've done. So for starters, the town that we've been working on, we've been adding a lot. We added a new house over here. We added the well a few episodes ago. You know, we have the cows, we got the wheat field, we have our spire house, we have our storage tower, which now has all the items in different chests down over there. And now we added 3 docks as well as a boat, as you can see. So overall, we're just really making the town come a bit more alive off camera, doing a bunch of small things. But that's not all. We definitely did do a lot more work as well. We've been doing a lot of mining, getting some diamonds and all that sort of thing. And now we have some tools that we need to show off. So we enchanted and we got this, which is very nice. We have a Fortune 3 pickaxe. With regular shovel, not enchanted. We got an axe. Not the greatest, but I took it because, you know, why not? Whatever. A nice axe would be something that I would want. Now, we also have a few other efficiency pickaxes at the base, as well as a nice silk touch. It's just a plain silk touch pickaxe, and I'm not complaining in the slightest because that's pretty much exactly, like, great for doing anvil combinations. We also have those as well, so that is good. But as you can see, we kind of got our resources here all organized, and we got all different sorts of chests, and overall the system's working fairly well. It's got like all the different items organized. Now, another small thing we did to the bridge off camera, I don't know if you guys will notice it even, but I definitely noticed it, and it's just a thing that I'm glad I finally got around to doing, is we added these little pillars here of cobblestone, which I just think really made it come together. Also, if you haven't noticed, we have changed the shaders of the world from these shaders right here to Silder's Vibrant shaders. We're using the V13 high version, and here's the main reason for switching. So the other shaders, it got very dark at night, and it wasn't as bright and like as shadowy and like as vibrant as I really wanted it to be. So now we've just got like a much better sky. We get some nice like purples at night, which I also like. The water just looks so much better in this one, and the fog is a bit more different. So I don't know, I like these shaders a little bit better, so I think we're going to be rocking and rolling with these for a good portion of the series. We've also been clearing out a ton of the spruce trees around here, really trying to make some space for stuff. Like, as you can see, we got space over here. But the town is definitely coming along, and I don't know how many more episodes until this area will be quote-unquote completed. And I say quote-unquote because we're never really going to actually be done with this area. Like, we can come back and work on it whenever we so choose. But I do think that we might be ready to move on in the near future, but the big thing we have to really work on is tying it all together. Up here, we need to do something. Something has to go over here, something here, and we kind of have to connect the back over here, as well as something down here by this dock, because it's important. Now, also, I do want to quickly just show off this boat over here. It's not the greatest boat by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not the greatest at building boats. Being as this was actually my first attempt at ever building a Minecraft boat, though, I think I did fairly well. I do think it could have been a lot better, but it didn't turn out completely terrible. So I'm fairly happy with it, and I think we can always work on that, you know, boat, and we can always improve boats in the future. You know, if we ever really wanted to, we could just add some more boats to the water here. Because what I really like about this area of the map is the water's very connected. Like, we have a giant ocean here, and then if we work our way over here, the giant ocean still is there. And then, if we keep on going, which this is a potential area we might build on in the future, over there we've got like a little cove, but if we keep coming over here, there's a river that way, but there's a slight little piece of land over here, but then if we were to eventually trim out this land, we'd have a nice beautiful river over here, which goes fairly far that way. So water travel can actually be used so far, which is something I like. It's probably not going to work for everything we build in the world, though, just being as it's so far. But what we're going to be working on in today's episode is going to be fairly cool and fairly interesting, because it's something that I like to put in most of my survival worlds, and today we're going to be doing it in this one. What we're going to be building is over here, we are going to be working on our Bandit cave. Now, we're going to kind of like make this area here be closed off. Same with here, but we're going to have a nice little bandit cave here. And the whole point of the bandits is that they'd be living down here, camping out, and then when travelers come across, they'd come out and they'd slay them out and they'd take them. So when travelers are coming into our fishing village over here, or our farming village, kind of like starter village, potato, whatever you want to call it thing, over here when they're coming to trade, they have to worry about the bandits who are over here. So they can kill the traders, the bandits, and that means they can take and they can pillage all the loot out of it. But what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to grab a bunch of resources and realistically try to make ourselves a fairly nice and fairly accurate bandit cave in today's episode, since that's going to be the goal. So I'm going to grab a bunch of resources and I'll meet you guys over there. So now we've got our resources and we're going to start working on the nice little bandit cave over here. Although I wouldn't really call the bandits nice, and neither would their camp, because their camp is going to be fairly small. It's meant to be kind of stealthy, kind of hidden. But we are going to be covering up a larger portion of over here, because it doesn't work for what we're going for. We're trying to make this a lot more concealed, and having a giant cave entrance that is visible is not really the style that the bandits would go for. So we're going to really try to like trim out this whole area here and really try to get it all covered up and not really accessible. Now we do need some way to get in here though. So we are going to have to use the other entrance over here, which is the one that I want to keep open, because I'm cool with the bandits coming out here and sniping or, you know, sorting the travelers. Since the travelers come this way, having this open wouldn't work because they would then know that the cave is here. But if they go this way and then the first entrance is over there, they will have no idea and they'll just suspect it's a regular cave, which works for me fairly well. We are getting a little bit of stone cooked up here because we do need to kind of highlight the edges here and kind of get like a general shape put in, because we're not going to be using a large portion of this because it's not going to be that big of a cave. You know, they don't need such a huge space. So we're going to kind of cover up a bit more like so. And I think that's fairly good on covering. And then we're going to do some digging out here. We're going to be getting rid of any type of stone right now that isn't stone. We want smooth stone to be our main wall, and then we can mix in some other stuff. Now we are going to get a bunch of lighting in here right now because it is very dark, I know. So let us light up everything in here. Now over here we're going to go for just, I think we're going to make a quick little giant pile of stone is what we're going to go for, because that should hopefully just be enough that we can like kind of cover up that mound of material over here, which is just a bunch of like cobble, which we don't, not cobble, which dirt, and we don't really want that. So I'm just going to kind of cover this whole area up here with some cobble and other assorted resources like so. And then these are going to be made like that, and like that. And now we got to get some light here. We're going to throw a light source there. Alrighty, and let's go like this, and we are going to quickly sleep the night away. There we go. And as our cobble is smelting, that should be good. We have a nice little wall over there, and as you can see, we're going to be doing something similar like this to all of the walls in the actual place here, the bandit cave, because we don't really want the walls to have such a like exposed look. I guess we want them to look more cavey and less like in a hill. So that's what we're gonna have to work on. We have a very nice shape because it's a circle. It's a circle basically, and I mean the circle is gonna work very well for our needs. But I think what we got to do is first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw up a little like beam here. I think we're gonna do like a nice little beam thing like so. Just have a beam because it'll definitely help us with a little bit of character, and we got to try to start fleshing in a little bit of wood. So this is a good way to get the wood in if we could throw some wood around the walls. And there we go, a little bouncy bed. We're going to do that. And throw that there and that there like that. And go like something like that. And then we could throw some torches on these, which is what I like, because that's just a good way to put some lighting into the build without really having to like hide it, because it's just there, and that's kind of what we were going for. Now, over here is a perfect location for us to pop a few chests. So let's make like 4-ish chests, and then we could throw some chests around here like that. That should be pretty nice. And then I'm actually going to throw another beam right here of spruce, because and then I can use this as another side lighting place and just get the chest lit up a bit. And alright, now we can move these furnaces, which is great. Get rid of the furnace. And what we want to do is I want to get a little bit of a smoother transition down right now. That is definitely a thing we want to work on. Because as you can see, this is not a very smooth downward slope. And I'd like to try to change that and get this to be a lot more smooth and a lot more like, I guess, cave-ish. Which is what we're going for here with a lot of different like materials and stuff. So let's go like that, good, and then we can pop some andesite in areas as well. That should definitely help the character. Just blending in another texture into the walls and such, like so. Hopefully looking fairly good. All right, we don't want to put too much of it in though. We're gonna throw a gravel there, throw that there. Now we have to do a little bit of gravel as well. The thing with the gravel is the gravel really has to be kept to a minimum, because too much gravel will actually destroy the look of this build. So that's like a big thing we got to realize, because it's got a different texture with some more pinkish grays in there. We don't really want too much pinkish gray, so we have to be very careful with that resource. Now I did take a little bit of gold. We are going to throw like a little bit of gold in the walls as well. I think we're going to make them have a little bit of gold storage area, which actually, now that I think about it, could be over here. So we're going to literally go like this, and we're going to throw in those, and we're going to throw in that, and we're just going to get some nice, like, little bits of gold thrown in here, since obviously these are kind of the resources that they acquire from the travelers or the traders, because I feel like the merchants would usually carry gold as their currency. So doing something like that works fairly well. I'm going to try to hide the gold blocks a little bit more, but there we go, that's pretty good. We did use a lot of our gold there, but I'm sure we can get more if we needed to in the future. And now I am going to keep a crafting table in here, but I want to plop it somewhere better. Where's a good place to put this? I'm going to go with over there. That's a fairly good location. Now we got to kind of keep working on getting these walls a bit mixed in, but we're definitely going to need more slabs, so let's make a bunch more of those. And we're also going to need a bunch more stairs. So let's make a bunch of those. Alright, good. And now we're going to go like this, and we're going to start doing a bit more blending here. And let's start with our gravel and just kind of blend a tiny bit of gravel in here. The floor should probably have more gravel because it's kind of like a beat down cobblestone, so it works a bit better. And we're just going to go like this, and I think we're almost there on gravel. I don't want to use too much, because again, it's got like a semi-weird color to it. We're going to get rid of those torches. We are going to throw, I guess we're going to have to throw some form of lighting up here. So we'll go something like this. And can we like maybe get lighting up in there, or would that be kind of strange? It is, but I don't know if it's so bad. Maybe I should make this wood. Yeah, we're going to go with wood for that, but I think it should work fairly well if we did something along those lines. So maybe we make it a little bit more, seems like a pillar foundation that's like holding up the entire cave here. I like that idea. Plus it just breaks up the design a little bit of the cave. It doesn't make it so circular, which is something that I think could work very well. Now we've got a bit more of a structure here and a bit more things that are like impeding the look, which I actually like that. That is definitely a nice contributing factor, and I'm not going to complain about getting that in there. Now andesite, we want a bunch of andesite, but we don't want to do too much. We still need a quite large quantity of andesite mixed in. Now we can't really mix a lot of gravel into the roof, and by a lot I mean none, because if we do it'll just fall down, because it does have gravity, which is a bit unfortunate, but it could be way worse. It's not like we were going to really use a ton of it in the ceiling anyway, so it's not like it's a huge loss. I think that's a fairly good quantity of andesite. Let's throw just a tad bit more in like areas such as like this, and maybe a few more there. Okay, that works fairly nice. I think that's pretty good, but I'm going to get a little bit more of variation in here, and then I'll come back. Alright, so I've done a bit more blending here. We got some more cobblestone in here, as well as stairs and slabs kind of mixed in just to give a bit more of variety. Now we still have to do up here, and I'm actually going to try to throw a piece of gravel there, because I can, due to the way that the gravity works. And we're going to throw that there. Just go like that, and then we're going to throw a tiny piece of cobble right there. Not going to do too much variation up there, but we've got a nice blend here of everything, which I definitely like. Now, there are some more things we need to do to really get this Bandit cave thrown together the way we want it. So let's make a bunch of fences, and we're going to need to hide a bit more lighting. So we're going to have to just kind of throw a little bit of the stuff essential to do that right here. I think we're going to go over something like that. And then we're just going to throw a torch back there, although we do need to cover up the roof of this. And we're just going to go like that. So we're going to throw those into the walls as well, because it just works. And it's a very like subtle detail that definitely works. It just gives a bit of like foundation to it. Foundation? I don't know, that doesn't sound very smart, but whatever. I never claimed to be good at this English thing. Alright, so let's take a little bit of cobblestones there, put it right there, looking nice. Okay, that torch will despawn over there, good. This torch here, I'm also going to hide back there by the use of a fence, because I don't really want to just like leave a torch on the wall, so we're going to go for something like that. And we're going to do the same thing up here in a spot. I think right here is like actually a pretty perfect location for one. That's pretty nice right there. And then of course, we're going to kind of just see how it works and see what else we need to add in as we take a little bit of a peek down. But as you can see, it starts off really nice. We got a bit of gold over there, which I'm not complaining about. That there is going to be swapped into like, same with that. Okay, we're going to swap those into different materials because I do not want any sort of spawning to take place. And we're going to kind of make this transition here a bit more subtle and a bit more smooth, I think, because it's really like a harsh change, and we don't really want that. It's changing a little bit too quickly, and it doesn't have like a smooth transition here, which is not what we want in the slightest. So we're going to kind of mix a little bit more of these resources in there, just get them subtly thrown in just a tad bit, not even like too much. Okay, that's a little bit too much right there. That's a little bit over. But the slabs definitely do add some good character to it, which is something we do like. Okay, it looks pretty good. And now we do have some leaves as well to get a bit of foliage in here if we feel like that's a good move. I don't know how much leaves we really want to mix in. I feel like we could really overdo it. But if we throw a bunch in here, maybe it'll help kind of get some character. Maybe it won't, honestly. I don't know. But we're going to throw another bit of lighting right over here. And then I vote we sleep. And see, we got that purple-ish thing from the shader over here. Nice sunset, which is why we changed shaders. We got like a new one that looks a bit better for our needs. And also, I'm going to throw a slab right there. Yeah. That can go there. Now, I do want to actually throw a bit of dirt into this. Just like a tiny bit as you come down. That's too far down for dirt. But we can throw like a piece of dirt there and a piece of dirt there. Just like little, very subtle pieces like there. We have a little bit of leaf foliage, which we're going to add a bit more of. We don't want to go overboard with it, because it's very possible we could overdo this. But I would like to kind of get something hanging down just a tad bit here. Nothing too major, but just got like a nice little vibe to it, hopefully, is what we're looking for. Something that can kind of give it a bit of like added dark green into the color. I just think that's something we kind of would like to have, just a tiny bit more color in the build, because right now it's very gray. So adding a bit of green might help just kind of improve upon that ever so slightly here. We can go like that, go like this. Throw a little bit of leafage over here as well. There we go. And I think that's pretty good. Let's see what we got as our final picture over here. Is that good for leaves? I believe it should be. Although maybe we should just pop a few over here so it looks like it actually runs down the wall. Yeah, that looks a lot better. There we go. We got a very nice vibe coming down into this. I want to throw just a tiny piece of andesite there and one right there. But yeah, and then we walk on into the Bandit cave here, which actually we could add some more torches here. Now I know it looks like there's lots of torches down here, and I mean there kind of is, but it's alright. It gives a fairly good vibe. But this is our Bandit cave, as you can see. I'm going to throw... No, I'm not. I was going to say we could put a tiny little puddle of dirt down here, but I don't know if we want puddles of dirt. That just doesn't seem like something we do really need. But that's kind of our Bandit cave, as you can see. Like, you're going to walk in, and it looks fairly well. As you see, you go down here, and there's your Bandit cave. You got the gold over here. See, it makes a lot of sense from a lore perspective. So, think about it like this, you know. If the traveler, merchant, trader, this is kind of the lore behind the Bandit cave. you know, they're traveling up the river over here, which might one day get combined. I don't know if it's going to be a river or not, but we might one day dig all that out. But, you know, they're traveling up the river or through the little strip of land right here. And they get over, they're coming to trade. You know, they're not very geared because they're a merchant. So they're just coming, they're coming, and they're over here. They're starting to go. Bandits are like, woo, we see them. And they just kind of like swoop on out and start stabbing them. And then they take all their loot and then they throw it down there in the treasure vaults. It seems like a pretty good plan. I think that that's kind of what I wanted to go for. And we kind of hit a very nice look. Now the big thing with this build that really makes it stand out from some of the other ones is A, it's a small detail build. It's not a build that like is going to have its own kingdom or have its own village or its own town. But it's something just that like adds a lot of character to the world, because if you see this while traveling, it's something that like might pique your interest. You might want to check it out and see what it is. It also has lots of lore. And the big thing that we're kind of working on with a build like this is really getting our variety right. Because as you can tell, there's just lots of mixed in blocks here. It's got a very BWO style. For anybody who knows, BWO is a big builder Minecrafter, and he does like lots of very like spammy-esque style building. And I do sort of take inspiration with this build from BWO because it's got a lot of leaves, it's got a lot of variation in it, and it looks very good. So I've got to say we did this pretty well, and I think we did it fairly well and fairly accurate. But you know, the difference between that really, you know, variety and like varied style with lots of different textures that are kind of busy. There's also a lot more clean look, which is I guess what you can kind of call our village. It's got a lot more clean characteristics to it. You know, the actual builds are relatively clean and very nice. And also, I think we're gonna just get a quick little peek in this house here. If anybody wondering, just a tiny little bit of decorating, not much, and all of that sort of thing. But I think it's about going to be it for today's episode. If you guys did enjoy this episode of Minecraft Super Survival, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Check out my Twitter and my Discord. I'll see you guys in another episode, and the Bandit Cave turned out awesome. Bye!